the my deck here. Hello, my name is Marcos Suarez. I lead the retail and consumer goods industries for Avanade in Europe. Avanade, as you may know, is a joint venture between Accenture and Accenture and Microsoft. And we are the ones that brings the value proposition of Microsoft to enterprises all over the world, across industries, and of course here in Portugal. To frame our presentation today, let me use this term, Welt and South, and excuse my German. Okay? I don't know if you are familiar with that term, if you heard that. That means the vision of the world, the cosmovision. And that can be applied to us individually, as a group, or as a humankind. And I want to use that just to challenge the traditional vision that we have of the evolution of the humankind in what we call industrial revolutions. I do believe that we can apply that concept and challenge that with the additional idea that through the course of the evolution of the humankind, that cosmovision of the world has been significantly reduced, narrowed down. And that is linked to 4 individuals, 4 pioneers, 4 visionaries. So the first revolution in the cosmovision of the world that we have was this guy, Copernicus, that challenged our central position in the universe. 300 years later, this man, Charles Darwin, told us that we are not the center of our own planet. And some years later, this other guy, Sigmund Freud, challenged the perspective that we have of knowing the reality by ourselves. And last but not least, this is the 4th revolution. It's not about the Industrial Revolution. It's what is happening with AI. And Turing, that is that famous guy that created the test, is telling us that, well, could be intelligence that is not only human. So we are in this stage. That's the challenge that we have as humankind. So I think the common understanding and belief is that in that perception of the world, we are moving from intelligence managed by human to intelligence managed by AI. This is the discussion today here. And that is the result of all the data, all the insights, AI, and automation. We all know that. But let me challenge this. And the way that I use is that through the course of modernity, humankind have thought that intelligence is the same as agency. That is an equation that we have been always used. In order to operate in the world, that is the meaning of agency, in order to resolve a problem, to make a decision, you need to have some kind of knowledge, some reasoning. And this is the way that we operate in modernity since Enlightenment. The challenge that we have today is amazing because we know that intelligence is growing, but that marriage in which we understand the world is now a divorce. So agency is detached from intelligence, and all the autonomous systems are on that part of the equation. So what is for us is about taking advantage of that expansion of intelligence in terms of creativity, meaning, and more importantly, leadership. I hate every time that I hear the expression human in the loop. We need to be in the leadership because we need to resolve those problems that appear right in the middle. So after this initial philosophical type of framework, let's come back to the topic of our presentation, from digital transformation to responsible intelligence. And we have used, maybe you are familiar with Clayton Christensen, the father of the innovator's dilemma. I brought that because I assume that you are all innovators here. You spend some time hearing to all these presentations. So Clayton Christensen introduced the idea of the dilemma zone. And this is really where all organizations are these days, in a dilemma in which the old is still there, but the new needs to be constructed with AI and new technologies. And the challenge in terms of business terms pivots around four main topics that, of course, you hear through the course of the day. The first, lack of vision and strategy. That happens. We don't have a North Star to navigate these days. We all are in the same situation. Okay? Nobody has that magic wand. Of course, there is low adoption of AI in the workplace. We as individuals use AI, but we don't even know how to apply that at a scale in big organizations. We hear about compliance and reputational risks. Well, organizations are scared of using this kind of technologies because we don't even know what the implications can be. And last but not least, well, the IT, the data foundation, and the enterprise-wide architecture that sustain the adoption of AI in the organizations at the scale, well, they are not prepared. We are not prepared for that. So what is the recipe? I guess you are looking for the solution to these kind of problems. Let me tell you, nobody knows about that. And you hear gurus, we hear headlines, but we as humans are terrible in anticipating the future. And this is an example of the vision that at the beginning of the last century, we did have about the year 2000 for a specific job. There is a series of postcards that talk about the future of job. So see how far they were from the reality of our electronic email. So the idea is that we need, as humans, as organizations, to create that future because, well, we don't know how it's going to be. We as consultants, as advisors of technology with Microsoft, we have amazing frameworks. And those are the ones that we always use with organizations like you to really work together. I think it's about working together in identifying and try to resolve all these different areas that I mentioned before in terms of how to find the path to value, how to see the implications in the people, how to reinvent the business functions at the end of the day. Of course, we are not going to talk about that in detail. That is for the working sessions that we have with clients. But rather, we are going to focus for the rest of the presentation on three concepts that we would like you to take away. The concept of trust. Trust is becoming the currency in this new economy of AI. Transparency, accountability, you hear about all those terms. This is really important. Governance is all around, but it's governance around having responsible intelligence by design in the organization. And last but not least, is everything about the purpose. Your own purpose as individuals in the organizations, because AI is an amazing tool, but it's a tool that can amplify the good or the bad of the values that you have. In order to deep dive in these three elements, I would like to call my friend and my colleague Fabio to the stage. Fabio. Thank you.
AI. Good. Let me start with a question. Have you ever talked to a tree? Who of you already talked to a tree? Please, raise your hands. Plants, flowers. OK, good. Let's keep this question for the end. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fabio De Pasquale. As you can, my role in Avanade is a digital business transformation innovation lead. And, of course, as you can perceive by my accent, my name, and the way I move my hands, I'm Italian. But this is not the reason why I'm here. As Marco said, we are here for talking about how we can reinvent our businesses using AI. Digital transformation is not enough anymore. Everything is digitalized. Our business are digital. Now it's time to reinvent our business. And Marco already mentioned the three purposes, the three pillars. And of course, the first one was purpose. That is the reason that is moving our business beyond money, of course, and is why we do something. Then we have governance. That is the structure, the way we achieve our purpose. And then, this is the how, and then we have the trust. Trust is what we sell to our clients. It doesn't matter if we sell a product, a service, or any kind of things. If we don't have trust of our clients, we are not able to sell. And of course, probably you remember this structure is very similar to the golden circle of the Simon Sinek. And if you didn't watch this video, it's amazing. He explained very well how business leader can pitch a business story. And watch it tonight if you didn't watch it. But we said that we are now in the digital transformation with AI, reinventing our business. And probably need to reinvent again the structure, because, as I said before, people don't trust on AI. And if we don't have trust, we are not able to sell anything. And let me make an example with you. Everybody knows that if you have bad data, the quality of our product or services will be not reliable, will be not trustable. But this is only one of the main challenge that we have with AI. No, everybody knows that garbage in, garbage out. Clear for everybody. We know it. But the second topic is much more different. Why? Because we don't trust on AI, not only on data, we don't trust on AI. People don't trust on autonomous vehicles because they don't trust on AI, not on data. But we trust on human being who drives vehicles. Even if they are tired, could be distracted, or even drunk. We don't trust on AI, but we trust on human beings. And we must allow AI to make mistakes like we do with human beings. AI never will be perfect, like human beings never will be perfect. And we need to trust in AI and make a decision. And then, of course, we have governance. And probably in your organization, there will be a picture like this. CEO, vice president, a lot of managers, employees, hundreds of employees, millions of employees, some technology, and probably some clients as well. But we are reinventing our business. And I would like to tell you a story that is CGR. CGR, for who doesn't know the organization, is an NGO that has 13 research centers around the globe that are investigating on the impact of the climate change of our food, investigating the food of today and the food of tomorrow. And they have 13 innovation centers, research centers, and they want to merge everything in one CGR. And we did that. We did this merging with them, putting AI in the center, together with people and processes, people and organization. And then we have created a trustable layer that I mentioned before. Data, how they use data, how they consume data, how they generate data, how they share data, how they monetize data as well. And then what they are really doing. Regenerative agriculture projects, research, sharing knowledge with the farmers around the globe, and then identifying all the stakeholders that they have, university, public administration, and so on and so forth. And then technology, but not AI. AI is in the center. Technology that can support beyond AI. And then another important topic we said is purpose. Why we do something. And here I have a great example of El Corte Inglés. Everybody knows here El Corte Inglés is the shopping center in Portugal and Spain. And they had a very nice purpose that was having zero impact on the environment. And we supported El Corte Inglés to achieving the zero waste certification, reducing their impact about waste, and also solving business challenges and business problems. They paid a lot of money for recycling their waste. Now, putting AI in the center, creating the trustable layers, and with a perfect purpose, and with a perfect organization and governance, they start to sell their waste. Instead to pay for recycling that, selling the waste. This is amazing. It's completely changing the business, changing the mentality, the governance with the right purpose. But not only that, probably you remember my original question that I asked before. No? Correct. Have you talked to a tree? Who of you talked to a tree? And now I would like to share another story. It's the Avanade story. Our purpose as an organization is do what matters. And this is very important. Every year we started many social projects, and one of these last year was for our 25th anniversary, was the Intelligent Garden in London, where we have connected a lot of trees, our garden, with AI and other technology, creating these trustable layers for investigating, together with our organization, the impacts of the climate change on urban trees and, of course, to our lives. And, of course, we have connected also with AI, and now scanning this QR code, if you want, you can start talking to a tree or going to intelligentgarden.avanade.com, and you can start talking to a tree right now. You can choose your tree and start talking. And I promise you, if you start talking to a tree, you never will stop. It's super entertaining. And then, of course, I would like to, and you can choose and identify all the information regarding each one of the trees in real time. And then I would like to close my session with a nice sentence, nice thoughts from Jacob Clemente. Is a journalist that published a very nice article on Time. Please search this article. It's very nice, talking about that. Imagine a 19th century business leader discussing the ROI of the electricity. It doesn't have any sense nowadays, right? It's exactly the same with AI. We don't need to waste time talking about ROI of AI. AI is there. Like, we are not talking about the ROI of our email or having internet or having digital solutions. AI is the key. We need to put that at the center of our strategy, AI, together with the right trustable layers, the right governance, and the right purpose. And then I can promise you, you will have a lot of fun reinventing your business, starting from scratch, or starting from what you have right now. And please, start today, not tomorrow, today. And thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure.